Alright, the first thing you want to do is install all your ducts, which is the biggest pain in the butt out of all things to do when setting up a tent. Alright, so this is going to be my intake fan. The intake fan has a stand on it, and I'm going to set it up outside the tent so that I can blow air inside the tent. I prefer to have it outside the tent so that it saves space inside the tent. Alright, so the next part is I'm going to set up the exhaust. For this tent, we're going to use a carbon filter. The carbon filter is to get rid of any odor. So if you don't really care about odor, you don't need a carbon filter. But if you are concerned about the smell, then I highly recommend getting one. Usually for the exhaust, you want the exhaust to leave outside the top part of the tent because heat rises naturally on its own. So naturally the air is just going to go up, and you want all the hot air, which is going to be near the top of the tent, to go out. So for the exhaust one, it's the hardest one to set up because you're kind of working against gravity here. But what I'm going to do is just shove it enough through with the bottom so where it can hold itself, and then I'm going to use a stool to get myself on top so that I can just pull it the way through. These things are always a pain in the ass at first, but after you get used to it, it's not so bad. So the exhaust fan is more important than the intake fan. So if you're gonna only have one fan, it's more important to have the exhaust fan. The exhaust fan doesn't have a stand. It has no stand because it's just gonna lay flat like this on top of the grow tent. Let's see, airflow. Where's the airflow arrow? Okay, airflow. And of course you want the airflow to be directed out toward the atmosphere and not inward toward the tent. So for the rope ratchet, you're going to want to hook this over and then hook this to itself like that. And then pull this up like that. Now I'll do the other side. Hook this one to itself, pull it up, and simple. You want to hook this thing on to the heat lamp, and then after you hook it onto the heat lamp, it makes it a lot easier to just hook it on to here, like that. Alright, so the next thing you need to do is plug in the light to the ballast. Now, I personally like to use this back outlet because our electrical sockets are in the back of the tent, behind the tent. So we're gonna slip this through the back so that we can plug this into the ballast. You wanna make sure after you're done sliding this plug outward, you wanna make sure you close this vent all the way to make sure you don't have any just random pockets of holes everywhere. Grab this end from the light, plug it into the ballast, and then plug the ballast into the wall. So this is the back part where I have an outlet and also have a timer, which is going to help me regulate the times when everything is on, which is going to help over the weekends when I'm not here. And this does take a lot of electrical sockets, so it's good to have a power strip. So the next thing I'm going to do is plug in the intake duct into the fan. The last thing I'm going to do is plug in the exhaust for the fan so that it has somewhere for the light heat to leave. So that's pretty much everything. All I'm going to do now is plug in the fans and put in my pepper plants, and we're ready to go. I hope this video was helpful for you guys in setting up your first grow tent. If you guys want to check out our last video on choosing the right size grow tent for you, you can click on this video over here. And if you guys have any video suggestions for us, we would love to hear those. And so write those in the comments below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel so you can get our latest videos. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Alright, so the first tent we're going to talk about is our 32 by